guys to a brand new channel featuring spooky content all year round. I wanted to do this for such a long time and now I have finally found the time to create a second channel. And I cannot wait to share amazing new content with you guys. So let's get comfortable and let's dive right into our first mythology story. Dutch mythology and legends, the Witte Wieven, also known as Witte Wieven, are spirits of wise women or else elven beings. The mythology dates back to at least to the pre-Christian era, the 7th century, and was known in the present day in regions of the Netherlands, Belgium, and some parts of France. In some places they were known as juffers or joffers, which means ladies, or as dames, blanches, white ladies in French. Wieven in modern Dutch Low Saxon literally translates to white women, but originally meant wise women. Wit or witte means wise in a similar way to the English witty. Wieven is still often translated to white women, as the words come from the same roots. The association of wise women with the color white was either an accidental translation error or a symbolic color association for wisdom. Historically, the Wieven are thought to be wise female herbologists and medicine healers who took care of people's physical and mental alignments. It was said that they had talent for prophecy and looking into the future. They had high statuses in the communities, and so when they died, ceremonies were held at their grave sites to honor them. According to the mythology, the spirits remain on Earth, and they become living spirits, or elven beings, that either helped or hindered people who encountered them. They tended to reside in the burial sites or other sacred places. It was thought that the mist on a grave hill was the spirit of the wise woman appearing, and people would bring them offerings and ask them for help. While many scholars believe Witte Wieven originated as a vow from honoring graves of wise women, others think the mythology of Witte Wieven comes from the part of a Germanic belief in Dissen, Landwise, and/or Alven. For several reasons. The practice of bringing offerings and asking for help from their graves is very similar to honoring Dissen, Landwise, and Alven in Germanic paganism. In addition, in some locations, the mythology of the Witte Wieven were described directly as Alven. However, not every tale describes them as good, but rather evil and mischievous. So it really depends on where you hear the story, and depending on that, whether they were considered evil or wise. I will tell you a story of how I know this mythological story or an urban legend, depending on how you want to call it. This is how I have known it for years. A long time ago, there was a farmer who had a lot of possessions. He didn't have any sons, just one daughter. Her name was Johanna. The farmer wanted that Johanna would marry Hendrik, the son of a wealthy farmer. But Johanna had fallen in love with Albert, who was the son of a not so wealthy farmer. But sadly, Johanna's father told him to go away and never see his daughter again. Albert was very sad and rode his horse to the mountains, while his mother telling him in his head to never go there at night since the Witte Wieven do not like to be disturbed. But Albert was too preoccupied thinking about Johanna and not the Witte Wieven. At a certain point, Albert didn't know where he was and got lost. Suddenly, there was an entity who was completely white and grabbed Albert and his horse and turned them to the other direction, saving them from falling into a hole. Shocked, he rode home and told his sister Altje to bake a cake to bring them as offering for saving his life. Meanwhile, Hendrik brought a visit to Johanna, but she made it very clear she didn't like him. But her father stood his ground, and together with Johanna, they decided that both had to go through some sort of challenge. The challenge was as follows. Both gentlemen had to ride their horses to the hole where the Witte Wieven would be, and throw in an iron spit and say the following. Witte Wieven wit, hier breng ik u het spit, which translates to, wise women wise, here I bring you the spit. The person who came back first would have the honor to marry Johanna. Both gentlemen accepted the challenge and started to prepare. even though Albert knew he didn't stand a chance because Hendrik was having a better horse due to the fact that Hendrik had more money. Luckily for him, Hendrik got frightened by the dark and rode home as fast as he could. Blinded by love, Albert rode to the hall and threw in the iron spit, and said what he needed to say. But then things started to change quickly. The Witte Wieven started to squeak and started to follow him since he disturbed their rest. It was a miracle that Albert was faster and arrived at the farm, where Johanna was waiting anxiously to see who won. He rode to the door where Johanna was standing and she closed the door. As soon as Albert entered, right before the eyes of one of the white women, who saw her prey getting away and threw the iron spit back. Luckily for Johanna and Albert, it got stuck in the door. Johanna's father kept his word, and a month later it was their wedding. A day after the wedding, Albert finds the spit and the plate he ever left there as an offering was laying on their porch. Both turned out to be pure gold. The Witte Wieven seemed to be very fond of Johanna and Albert, that they could live happily ever after, even though after what Albert did. And that concludes this first story time. Please let me know in the comments if you do believe this truly happened, and if you have ever heard of this before. Want to see more videos like this? Then please hit that subscribe button and stay connected to this channel. It would mean the world to me. I will try and upload a new video every month. This was a dive into the unknown, and I hope to see you next time.